For the introduction, the Islamic Capital Market (ICM) applies to the market where practices are conducted in ways that are not contrary to Islam values. ICM reflects an endorsement of religious law in the dealings of the capital market, where the market does not include forbidden practices such as riba, maisir, and gharar. Justice and fairness are essential to preserving the Islamic financial system and in particular the Islamic capital market. Therefore, sufficient protection and due diligence for all those investing in the Muslim capital market, according to ISRA in 2011. It guarantees seamless processes on the business and safe from human manipulation. That a product such as this must conform to the Sharia and must meet other ethical criteria for every product that is produced in the ICM. Major financial institutions have done a great deal of publicity to advertise through their Islamic website. Being an integral part of the Islamic financial system, ICM creates incentive for a long-term investment and risk sharing through diversification. The tremendous growth and progress seen in ICM is largely due to the variety of product, infrastructures, organizations, and intermediaries present in the network. There is a need for Islamic capital market to provide Muslims around the world with the ability to finance and invest in compliance with their religious belief. A team of Sharia-trained scholars must analyze the underlying mechanism and practices of the project that are proposed in order to ensure that they fulfill Sharia criteria and will thus accepted by Sharia-friendly labels. It is the outcome of natural development of the Islamic financial service industry growth that is developing a distinct Islamic capital market where deposit, borrowing, and goods are arranged in accordance with the principle of Sharia. In Malaysia, the position of Islamic capital markets has been very minimal during the early development years of the Islamic financial system. Significant development in the Islamic capital market and its importance to the growth of the Islamic financial system have become more apparent since the mid of 1990s.
Assalamualaikum Dr. Roslan. My name is Shazli. I will touch on the challenges of Islamic capital market in Malaysia. First, changing demand on regulatory framework and authorities. In Malaysia, the structure of regulatory framework and authorities for Islamic finance serve a predominantly risk transfer financial system. It provides recognition from international countries to acknowledge Islamic finance in Malaysia due to a proper governance system that have been established. Somehow, the Islamic finance system will face constraint or might be affected by the fragility of the conventional system. As Islamic finance exists with the fundamental of Sharia principles, every transaction and activity must comply to Sharia law. However, in reality, it doesn't sound easy as it is. There is consensus among financial institutions and other stakeholders on how to align and synchronize the Sharia principle and the existing regulatory framework. For example, the legal definition of financial or banking services may not recognize Islamic financial transaction. In Malaysia, Bank Negara have established Law Harmonization Committee in 2010 with the objective to eliminate the potential conflict and adverse legal effect as a result of unrecognized Islamic financial transactions when it comes to the regulatory issues. Secondly, human resource or perception of the public towards Islamic finance products. It has been noticed there is an inadequate understanding amongst people in Malaysia towards Islamic finance products such as takaful. This can be seen from the industry growth itself. There is only 11% of takaful policyholders compared to 43% of conventional insurance. There are several factors that contribute to the lower industry growth of takaful or any other Islamic finance products. First, people mindset. Islamic finance practitioners have the responsibility to educate public or society that takaful is not just meant for Muslims. It must be explained clearly to them any Islamic finance product can be used or cater to everyone. Therefore, Islamic institutions must be proactive to engage with all levels of Malaysian people regardless race, religion and belief. They have to create and gain trustworthy from the society, especially non-Muslim, but eliminate the perception or stigma that Islam is only meant to Muslim. Lack of knowledge in financial planning. Despite the importance of insurance, we observe there are still a lot of people hesitate to purchase the insurance. This is caused by lack of awareness about the importance of financial planning. Along the way, there are other issues arise in terms of insurance coverage and suitable insurance that they should purchase. Lack of funds. There is a concern raised by potential clients in relation to budget constraints. For instance, a lower group income, P40. Due to limited income and the needs of other basic needs such as shelter, food, clothes, and children education, many people under P40 group may not proceed to purchase insurance as it's not the most priority in their life. Last but not least, underwriting requirements. Although people realize the importance of insurance coverage at the older ages, there will be limitations as far as the insurance coverage amount and other coverage is concerned upon the entry of the said product, in addition to requirements placed by the said institutions. Thank you.
Okay, alright. Hi, Dr. Roslan. So I will further continue on the challenge for Islamic capital market. The third challenge, especially on the economy perspective, is the meeting of the needs of growing economy, especially for Malaysia itself. So as we can see in Malaysia, economy has impacted the Islamic capital market. If we can see from in 2019, the Islamic capital market was valued at 1.88 trillion. Or we can say about 61% of Malaysia overall capital market, as declared by the Security Commission Chairman Datuk Sheikh Syed Albar. It is a slightly contraction from the last year declaration, which is 1.9 trillion. So in many cases, even as attested by international financial institutions, the reform in bank restructuring and corporate restructuring have exceeded early expectation and even outpaced the reform in other crisis-affected jurisdictions. Nevertheless, there are issues inherent in this perception that must be considered seriously, and change must be undertaken in such perception to ensure it's effectively addressed. If not, the positive factors that have been supported the Malaysia capital growth market in the past will become overshadowed by this other issue. Plus, Islamic capital market industry innovation in tandem with the Security Commission Development Initiative itself also resulted a diverse range of Islamic investment product. As we can see in the market itself, we can see wholesale fund, private retirement scheme, exchange trade fund, and real estate investment trust. All this achievement was decade in the making and rooted in Malaysia's holistic approach towards developing an Islamic capital market ecosystem. So the next challenge we can see from the competition perspective itself, the heightened global competition for business and investment in Islamic capital market. Why I say so? Because the internalization of market has been seen in growing tendency for market that have more multilateral linkage with other countries. Because that's why we call it as internalization or globalization. This has been particularly the case as individual national markets seeks to expand their internal capacity and also at the same time to expand their external reach, while at the same time driving the auxiliary benefit of greater interaction with the global community, especially in the market itself. So increasing globalization is good and is leading to more interlinkage between this national financial system, with market across different geographical location and in different asset classes become interconnected to a higher level of cross-border interconnectivity. However, one way which many international exchange are responding to this challenge of competition globally is through consolidation and strategic alliance, because that is the best way to deal with this challenge. Often across different asset, market and also country. This is largely reflect of the increasingly borderless nature of financial market itself, we put it as no limit of the financial market, and the wide recognition that investors and issuers are essentially faced with viable option not only within their own national boundaries but also beyond them. So in order for us to increase competition in the financial service industry or even Islamic financial capital market itself, coupled with the deregulation of key restriction on the scope of activity in many jurisdictions over the past couple of decades, will be impacted and greater emphasis on lowering the cost of intermediation and also greater customer orientation through the quality and diversity of service rendered for Islamic capital market itself.
Hi, my name is Nadira. So the next challenge is level of understanding among Islamic scholars on Sharia compliance as far as real operation is concerned. There are a different understanding in Sharia interpretation. To ensure a proper understanding of Islamic principle, Sharia scholars play as a key role to interpretation the Sharia law. Different understanding will arise in non-Islamic countries because Islamic law has been added to the taxation as a commercial aspect. Basically, these Islamic banks are governed by their own Sharia compliant institution which considers their scholars to adopt Sharia compliance product. However, the challenge is that there is no central authority promulgating Sharia law, and the understanding of what is hence permissible and what is not varies among Islamic scholars are jurisdiction. The rapid growth of Islamic banking over the years has resulted in the introduction of complex banking products and structures, which now require Sharia harmonization at a global level. Currently, the harmonization is lacking. For example, the Islamic contract of tawarruk or community murabaha is only allowed by certain scholars. While conventional banks have harmonized and approved regulatory standards that banks around the world follow, making it easier for them to expand and conduct operations in different countries. Although the Islamic banking is different from conventional banking, it is difficult for Islamic banks to completely follow these global conventional standards. For instance, the capital structure in Islamic bank is different from that of conventional banks. Next, the last one, information transparency and qualitative corporate governance, limited scope in ICM trading, proportionately to risk activity while offer higher return, rating and pricing of financial instrument. While the financing instrument must remain Sharia compliant, they offer higher return but proportionately to risky activities. The inherent risk borne by the Islamic investment bank are higher than the retail banks. Because of this, the incentive to develop practically risky financial offering are at the minimum stage. There is a limited scope of secondary trading in the ICM. It has been pointed out that secondary market is a vital ingredient for capital market because it will provide investors to manage their liquidity requirement in a flexible manner. It should be noted that the current practice in the secondary market is active with the buying and selling of money and debt, in which causes the price volatility to increase and raise the issue of improper position during transaction. Last one is renting pricing of financial instrument in ICM is another challenging factor. There is no standard renting criteria which are totally suited to the needs of ICM product. This is due to the fact that they are sophisticated and complex in nature as they replicate the conventional features must be structured within the bound of Sharia principle. Thus, there is a need of reliable and separate indicator for the renting and pricing. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum, a very good day. We will move to the next topic, which is a prospect of Islamic capital market in Malaysia. The Islamic Capital Market, or ICM, is an integral part of Malaysia's overall capital market which plays an important role in the economic growth. The ICM functions as a parallel market to the conventional capital, also a complementary role in the expanding to the Islamic financial market in Malaysia to the Islamic banking system. Malaysia nowadays become a destination of choice due to the competitive advantage or value proposition needed for an international Islamic center in a range of fundamental areas.
The value proposition that make Malaysia currently considered as a strategic location for ICM hubs are as follows. The first one is a well-developed market. We can see that Malaysia has put a strong emphasis on the growth and expansions of the Islamic finance for more than 30 years, including Islamic banking, takaful, and Islamic money market. This has resulted in a dynamic Islamic finance framework that is rich in financial institutions diversity, vibrant with the continuous product innovation, market activity, and embedded maturity that brings stability and robustness to the entire system. A facility business environment make Malaysia has established a facility business environment and structure that enables efficient distribution channels for the proliferation of international Islamic institutions as well as Islamic products and services, which includes a reliable electronic trading network and electronic real-time transfer of funds and security system that allows efficient trading. The third one is a well-developed Sharia governance framework. Malaysia has 2 dedicated Sharia advisory councils to deal with all matters relating to the Islamic market. Issues that related to the Sharia compliance that relate with Islamic banking and takaful industry will be advised by the Sharia Advisory Council of the Central Bank Malaysia. The other is the Sharia Advisory Council of the Security Commission Malaysia will advise on issues related to the operation of the ICM, also providing a guideline advice to the investor, government and industry. Tax neutrality. Malaysia has introduced a very generous tax environment for ICM growth and operation, which offer a competitive advantage and encourage Islamic finance to expand. Tax-neutral environment is seen as a vital for encouraging innovation and promoting Islamic financial products. Adoption of global legal and regulatory best practice. Malaysia's legal frameworks has provided for Islamic finance-specific regulation which regulated under Islamic Banking Act 1983, the Takaful Act 1984, and the Capital Market Services Act 2007. As the Islamic finance industry grows rapidly, the legal and regulatory framework is continually updated to ensure the laws are streamlined to the best practices.
I'm going to present about the prospect of ICM, which the first one is the cooperation between countries. During Islamic finance industry, United Kingdom in May 2010, Malaysia, United Kingdom and also Hong Kong declared to become the Islamic financial base that will facilitate transaction and strengthen relationship between countries. This agreement proved that Islamic financial system is a world market value and being considered to practice even in a non-Islamic country. Second is developing Islamic fund management ecosystem, where ICM is supported by huge industry comprising local and foreign fund management companies. So Malaysia's Islamic banking and financial system has shown a remarkable improvement with the introduction of interest-free banking IFB in 1993. Such achievement rooted in Malaysia's holistic approach towards developing a stable ICM ecosystem. Third one is securitization and standardization. Islamic Private Debt Securities (IPSW) has been introduced in Malaysia, where underlying instruments such as mudarabah, certificates and also musyarakah bonds will be securitized before being offered as negotiable instrument in the derivative market. Last but not least is attracting investors. So investors are looking at performance. When it comes to a Sharia compliant funds, Malaysia has an edge because its assets managers have a true understanding of Sharia compliant investment and have established a track record worldwide. This offers unique opportunities for investors in the Malaysia capital markets.
Okay, Assalamualaikum Dr. Roslan. My point is about prospect of Islamic capital market in Malaysia by enhancing the Islamic banking and financial institution system in Malaysia. Okay, prospect for the development of Islamic finance should contain a balanced development of the Sharia integrated market. In addition, the product and services must also not limited to Muslim market only, but also emphasize acceptance of application globally. Ongoing effort, as in the slides, as you can see, to further strengthen the resilience of the Islamic financial industry would enhance the prospect for global growth and potential of Islamic finance to contribute towards global financial stability. Here are some recognition for the enhancement and improvement that can be done to some of the challenges in Islamic financial system to create better prospect for Islamic capital market in Malaysia. Okay, first, limited market-based financial intermediation and products. Islamic financial intermediation and products specializing in Sharia compliant products have been functioning based on the same business model and without much innovation in their mode of operation for a while. Financial intermediaries have to specialize in mobilizing deposits, identifying investment opportunities, structuring, packing securities, and originating, while allowing the complementary financial to fill the remaining gaps and provides liquidity and risk sharing. Islamic financial institution can continuously develop more product actually. The example, as you can see in the vanilla product as in the slides, the financial intermediaries of Islamic financial institution have the value proposition to launch Islamic market, Islamic banking and the products. They need to offer the right choice of the innovative Islamic finance product with a unique professional approach. Second, limited risk management functionality. Islamic banking makes functionality of risk transfer is very limited, not like the conventional finance develops the hedging mechanism through derivative products. It is significant to mention that most of the conventional derivative instruments do not conform with Islamic law, so Islamic banking need to find their own way in doing it. There is a need to introduce the risk management culture in Islamic bank. One path to usher this culture is to start from of internal evaluation system. The Sharia Supervisory Board and all Islamic financial intermediation in Malaysia have to provide more knowledge and create awareness to the public in order to get more opportunities and increasing the source of customer. Next, the final one is the legal challenges. Supervision of Islamic bank is equally important. At present, lack of effectiveness prudential regulation is one of the weaknesses of Islamic institution. The role of both the Sharia Advisory Board and Central Bank need to be streamlined and strengthened. Supervision have to make a clear determinant point of supervision, as they will not always be able to up to the public expectations.
For the conclusion, property security is one of Shariah's 5 overall goals. Muslims should engage effectively in the overall progress of the economy on Islamic capital markets without violating their religious belief. Just 61% of Malaysian Muslim population has accomplishment in nations that are 90% greater than Islamic. In this paper, we describe and analyze the challenges and opportunity of the ICM in Malaysia in a comprehensive manner. Based on the result of our study, we received several suggestions that could be used by Muslim leaders for successful growth and development of ICM. Probably, now is the time for Muslim nation to wake up and try hard to develop strong Islamic financial system. Without a well-functioning Islamic financial system, Muslims around the world are at a risk of committing sin while engaging in forbidden traditional financial purchases. In structuring the sukuk and other items on the Islamic capital market, centralized Sharia bodies will promote greater public trust in the Sharia legitimacy of ICM goods. Any Sharia damage has to be accepted in the beginning while structuring different ICM items as long as the gains to the public maslahah are greater. This is to encourage the Islamic capital market to take the base, and as a result, the structuring will shift towards a more downward trend. Thus, benchmarking and studying from traditional bond market practice should not be followed automatically because the two markets' basic principles are not the same. The sustainability of the implementation of ICM requires strong political support from management and regulatory support in policy and legislation.